Hey, stop. Stop whatever you're doing right now. Because there is something you need to see. Something that has already made millions of people around the world stop breathing, stop blinking, and stop thinking rationally. And its name is Park Jimin's smile. Yeah, you heard that right. One smile. Just one. And the world stopped. Welcome back to this channel. If this is your first time here, you came at exactly the right moment. Because today we're talking about something that has been trending absolutely everywhere. From Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all the way to major international news outlets. Everyone is talking about the same thing. BTS's Jimin at the 2026 comeback performed on a completely different level. A godlike level. An otherworldly level. So get comfortable. Grab something to drink. Because this video is going to be long, and I promise it will destroy you. Okay, before we dive into Jimin specifically, we need to understand the context. Because if we don't grasp how massive this moment truly was, we won't be able to feel why Jimin's smile hit the way it did. March 21st, 2026. Gwangwon Square, Seoul, South Korea. That was not just an ordinary concert. That was the most epic comeback in K-pop history. Many have even called it one of the most historic moments in the entire global music industry. Just imagine, nearly 4 years of waiting. For years of BTS being absent as a complete group. Every member had to complete their mandatory military service in South Korea. And finally, after everyone had finished, with Suga being the last to complete his service in June 2025, they came back. All 7. Together. Complete. CNN called it the comeback of the century. And that was no exaggeration. A free concert that only issued 22,000 tickets caused more than 260,000 people to flood the Gwangwon area, breaking the record for the largest public concert in South Korean history. Police shut down major streets in Seoul. Purple light sticks glowed like an ocean of stars in the midnight air. And that concert, broadcast exclusively live on Netflix, was watched in real time by tens of millions of people across the globe. Their new album, Hybe Rm, had been released the day before. That name was taken from a traditional Korean folk song that is centuries old, a symbol of identity, longing, and national pride. A choice of name that was not merely artistic, but carried profound cultural meaning. And on that grand stage, with the Gyeongbokgung Palace as its backdrop, one of the most iconic and sacred places in all of Korea, those 7 men stood, ready to prove that they had not simply returned. They had been reborn. That is where the legendary moments happened. That is where the world witnessed something that will never be forgotten. And among all those moments, there was one that was shared the most, screenshotted the most, rewound over and over again by millions of people. Park Jimin's smile. Okay guys, let's be honest here. Jimin has long been known as one of the K-pop idols with the most stunning visuals. But at the 2026 comeback, he showed up on a level that even longtime fans were completely speechless about. So much so that he trended worldwide under the title Peak of 2026. Not an overstatement. Absolutely serious. So what made Jimin so different at this comeback compared to before? The first thing, an incredible physical transformation. Before the comeback, Jimin had already started making ARMY nervous. On March 15th, he posted a selfie on Weverse, taken in the practice room. Blonde hair down to his shoulders, a natural look without heavy styling. And what immediately sent the comments into a frenzy? His jawline, sharper than ever, more chiseled, more defined. Many fans responded with a mix of awe and worry, because it was painfully clear just how hard Jimin had been pushing himself to prepare for this comeback. And indeed, Jimin himself had openly shared details of his diet journey. He even posted a photo of a scale reading 59.7 kilograms, a small detail that instantly became a trending topic across every social media platform. Everyone was talking about how disciplined Park Jimin had been in maintaining his physical condition leading up to the comeback. But this wasn't just about weight. It was about total dedication. The second thing, an outfit that silenced everyone. On the Gwangwon stage, Jimin appeared in a costume designed by Songzeo, a Korean fashion brand known for its poetic and conceptual aesthetic. The concept? A poet. Picture this, a minimalist white inner top paired with a multi-layered jacket resembling armor, but not ordinary battle armor. This armor reinterpreted the elegance of the hanbok, while incorporating bold East Asian aesthetics. The jacket's edges featured fringed ornaments that moved gracefully with every step Jimin took on stage. On the bottom, he wore wide skirt pants in a glossy material with a vertical slit detail, a fusion between modernized hanbok trousers and contemporary stage fashion. The result? Something that cannot be described in words. It had to be seen. It had to be felt. The third thing, hair that was absolutely perfect. Ash blonde, shoulder length, with soft layers and a fringe gently covering his forehead. This hairstyle felt as though it had been designed specifically for this very moment. The color created a beautiful contrast under the stage lights. Soft, yet sharp. Romantic, yet slightly rebellious. The combination of all these elements, the physical transformation, the outfit, the hair, and of course his naturally expressive face, created what could only be called a perfect storm of visuals. And in the middle of that visual storm, there was one moment. One single point in that concert, where the camera caught Jimin at the perfect angle. The stage lights fell directly on his face. And he smiled. Not a posed smile. Not a smile for a photo. Not a smile that was forced or manufactured. It was a real smile. The smile of someone who knows that this moment is actually happening. That the long wait is finally over. That he is standing there, on that stage, beside his 6 closest friends, in front of hundreds of thousands of people who love them. And that smile broke the internet. Okay, we all know that Jimin has long had a reputation as one of the idols with the most devastating smile in the K-pop world. That's not a subjective opinion. It's a verifiable fact backed by millions of fan posts around the world across many years. But what happened after this comeback concert was different. The clip of that smile spread at a speed that was extraordinary even by BTS standards. On Twitter, or X, the screenshots and short clips were retweeted millions of times within hours. On TikTok, the sound from that moment was used for hundreds of thousands of videos. On Instagram, posts featuring that smile racked up millions of likes. But what was most moving were the reactions that fans wrote in their captions and comments. I ugly cried. I didn't know I could miss a smile this much. 4 years of waiting, and his smile is still the same. Still capable of making the world stop. I genuinely cannot. This is not fair. He smiled, and I forgot my own name. And the one that was quoted more than any other? A simple comment that no one knows who wrote first, but spread absolutely everywhere. Jimin smiled, and the world collectively exhaled. Jimin smiled, and the world exhaled together. Extraordinary, right? One smile. From one person. And the description of it was, the world exhaled as one. But honestly, that's not an overstatement at all. It makes complete sense when you look at it from a wider perspective. For nearly 4 years, ARMY around the world had been waiting, each in their own way, some staying constantly updated on social media, some counting the days, some remaining active in fan communities. But one thing was certain. There was an enormous, aching longing stored in the heart of every single ARMY. And when Jimin smiled on that stage, it was the most vivid visual confirmation that the wait was over. That he was okay. That he was happy. That all of them were okay and happy. That smile was not just aesthetics. That smile was the answer to the prayers of millions. Now, if you think the story stopped at the Gwangwoman concert, you are very wrong. Because Jimin kept delivering moments that had ARMY all over the world unable to sleep. After the Seoul concert, BTS immediately moved on to New York. On March 23, 2026, they performed at Pier 17 in Manhattan, an outdoor waterfront venue, as part of an exclusive invite-only event with Spotify called Spotify x BTS, Swimside. The problem? The weather in New York that night was brutal. Temperatures below 10 degrees Celsius. Wind coming off the water. And Pier 17 is a fully exposed outdoor venue. But ARMY? They didn't care. They still came. They queued from the afternoon. They stood in the cold just to see BTS perform live for the first time in 4 years. And Jimin, with all his sensitivity, felt it. 2 days after the concert, he sent a message to ARMY through Weverse. And what did he write? He said that during the concert, he himself had felt very cold. And because of that, he was worried. He was worried that the fans outside had also been cold. And he apologized because the conditions had been so uncomfortable. Think about that. He was the one who was cold. But the person he was worried about was his fans. That alone was enough to flood Twitter with tears. But then there was another moment that was even more heartwarming. Just before a BTS concert as heavy rain began to pour down in Seoul, an ARMY posted a reel on Instagram. In the video, she was dancing to Idol in the rain, right in front of the concert venue. A beautifully pure expression of love and devotion. And Jimin, somehow, found the video, and he left a comment. The comment was brief, simple, but it immediately sent the entire K-pop world into an uproar. Jimin wrote, "It's going to be cold." That was all. 3 words. But those 3 words instantly went viral with the hashtag #MyJiminIsAnAngel exploding globally on Twitter. Fans responded with overwhelming emotion. "He's worrying about us when he's the one who needs to be taken care of. Please, Jimin, take care of yourself first before worrying about us. Please." 3 words, and I cried for 10 minutes. And at the same time, the gym selfie he posted with V was also making the rounds. Both of them looked fresh, healthy, and, of course, smiling in front of a mirror in their workout gear. 2 human beings who genuinely looked happy to be back living the life they love. This, guys, is what makes Jimin different. Not just his visuals, not just his talent, not just the smile that can make the world stop, but the way he treats the people who love him, the way he shows up, the way he pays attention, the way he cares, even about something as small as the temperature outside. Okay, there is one more thing we need to talk about that made Jimin trend in early 2026. And this is a little different from everything we've discussed so far. This is not about high-fashion visuals, not about a smile on a monumental stage. This is about Jimin in full chaos mode. JiminWho is funny. JiminWho is relatable. On March 24th, 2026, a video was uploaded to a YouTube channel called Hot Issue G. The video featured Jimin as a ballroom dance instructor, paired with popular Korean comedian Lee Soo-ji. The concept was simple, Jimin teaching Lee Soo-ji the basic steps of ballroom dancing. But what actually happened? Total chaos. Right in the middle of the calm and elegant teaching session, where Jimin was patiently demonstrating step after step, Lee Soo-ji suddenly lifted Jimin in a full princess carry. Jimin was completely caught off guard. His expression was priceless, a mix of genuine surprise, barely suppressed laughter, and the valiant attempt to remain cool. And of course, the camera caught every single bit of it in perfect detail. But the most viral part? When it was Jimin's turn to try the princess carry on Lee Soo-ji. With the very significant size difference between them, the people on set immediately panicked and rushed to intervene before anyone got hurt. The result? Jimin laughed. A completely free, genuine laugh. The laugh of someone who is fully enjoying the absurdity of the situation they have found themselves in. And that laugh, once again, went viral. The comments flooding into that video were filled with expressions of love completely tangled up with helplessness. Why is BTS working this hard again? I can't even imagine what decision led Jimin here. Who sent Jimin into this chaos? I'm crying. This is such a precious solo YouTube moment. And among all the reactions, there was one that summed everything up perfectly. Whether he's performing elegantly on a multi-million-dollar stage or completely losing it in a random YouTube video, he always makes the world stop and pay attention. Yes, that's it. That's Jimin. Okay, now we're getting to what might be the most important part of this entire video. We're not just here to gush about how beautiful Jimin's smile is. We want to try to understand. Why does that smile carry such extraordinary power? This is not a rhetorical question. It's a genuinely serious question with a fascinating answer. The first reason is authenticity. In the world of K-pop, a world that is highly structured, highly trained, highly on-brand, where every movement, every expression, every word is polished to perfection, Jimin's smile still feels real. Fans can feel the difference. The professional smile for a photo shoot exists, but the smile that appears when he is genuinely happy, when he sees ARMY, when he hears the crowd roar, when he stands on stage after 4 years, that is something else entirely. That is genuine. And it is that genuineness that touches the hearts of millions. The second reason is the enormous emotional context. We have to acknowledge that this smile cannot be separated from what surrounds it. Jimin's smile at Gwangwamun on March 21st, 2026 was not just any smile. It was a smile that came after almost 4 years. For years of not performing together. For years of living a military life far from the spotlight. For years of ARMY waiting. And when all of that was finally over, when he stood there, under the stage lights, in front of hundreds of thousands of people shouting his name, that smile carried an emotional weight that cannot be measured. The third reason is his iconic eye smile. This is a technical detail that is absolutely worth discussing. Jimin has what fans call an eye smile. When he smiles, his eyes smile too. The corners of his eyes lift slightly, creating an expression that is simultaneously warm and utterly sincere. This is not something that can be faked. It is natural, and it is one of the things most consistently mentioned by fans whenever they talk about Jimin's smile. The fourth reason is the emotional bond built over many years. Millions of ARMY have known Jimin for years. They know his journey. They know his struggles. They know how hard he works, how deeply he cares for his fans, how consistently he expresses gratitude and love toward ARMY. When someone we have known and loved for years, someone who has shown themselves to be a genuinely good and caring person, smiles at us in that way, the effect is multiplied. Because we are not just seeing a smile. We are seeing him. We are seeing everything we know about him, all at once. Guys, we've spent a lot of time talking about Jimin's smile, a historic concert, viral moments, and why all of it was so powerful. But there is one thing we need to underline as we close this out. This is not the end. This is the beginning. BTS 2.0, as Jhope himself shouted from the Gwangwoman stage, has only just started. They have the biggest world tour in their entire career currently underway. 79 concerts across 34 regions between April 2026 and March 2027. More than 4 million fans are scheduled to attend in person, not counting those watching via streaming. The album Hybe Rm is dominating charts everywhere. Every single track swept the Melon chart in Korea. First-day sales figures approached records that are impressive even by BTS's own extraordinary standards. And Jimin is entering this new era with a confidence that radiates from every step he takes, from every word he writes, from every interaction he has with fans. He has completed his military service. He has demonstrated extraordinary physical discipline in preparing for the comeback. He showed up on the most historic stage in BTS's career and made it entirely his own. And he has continued, as always, to show that behind all the glitter and the massive stages, there is a human being who genuinely cares about the people who love him. And at the center of all of it, there is a smile. A smile that has existed since Jimin first debuted with BTS back in 2013. A smile that has accompanied millions of ARMY through highs and lows for over a decade. A smile that we might have taken for granted, until 4 years passed without seeing it on a stage. And when it finally appeared again, in front of Gyeongbokgung Palace, under world-class stage lighting, before hundreds of thousands of people who had not slept for days just to be there for this moment, that smile felt as though it carried the entire gravitational weight of the world inside it. The world did stop, just for a moment, because of that smile, and not a single person complained. Okay guys, that was, well, not a short story at all. The full story of why Park Jimin's smile in the 2026 comeback era became something so deeply memorable and so wildly viral all over the world. If you feel completely wrecked after watching this video, you are not alone. We are all wrecked. If you enjoyed content like this, don't forget to hit that like button, even if you have to reach for it while holding back tears. And of course subscribe and turn on notifications because we will keep covering all the latest updates about BTS and Jimin right here on this channel. Drop a comment below. Which Jimin moment hit you the hardest? The Gwangwoman concert? The completely chaotic ballroom dance video? Or that devastating 3-word comment? It's going to be cold. That was so simple, yet so utterly heartbreaking? Write it in the comments. We will not judge anyone who types their answer while crying. See you in the next video. Stay safe, stay healthy, and, most importantly, protect your heart from Park Jimin's smile. Bye, Purple Heart.